When I was appointed here in 2009, I was appointed on the understanding that I would be building links between Duke University, or Duke Divinity School in particular, and the University of Cambridge, and the Divinity faculty, or the Divinity School in Cambridge in particular. So I spend a semester a year over here, and the rest of my time working on behalf of Duke in Cambridge. So this collaboration between Duke and Cambridge that is now focused on the Easter Festival is enormously important to me, and I'm glad to say Divinity School as well. This all began very informally. A group of Duke scholars and a group of Cambridge scholars decided to get together one Easter in order to speak about theology and the arts and the Passion of Christ. At the time, the composer, Scottish composer, James Macmillan, was in town, and he was there for a performance. After the performance on the Good Friday, we just approached James Macmillan and said, would you be interested in writing a St. Luke Passion? And there are very few of those around. Bach wrote one St. John Passion and a St. Matthew Passion, not a Luke Passion. So would you like to write a Luke Passion and have us from Duke and Cambridge, this group of scholars, working with you on it, a kind of collaboration? Here we are in 2012, back to Cambridge to meet with Macmillan during another Easter at King's Festival. And we've commissioned a Luke Passion from him, and that will be performed in 2014. And among the first performances will be a performance here in Duke Chapel. And we're meeting with him in order to speak about the progress he's making on that.
Been at King's College as a group of theologians, including biblical scholars, and artists, both musicians and a poet, Michal O'Shiel, an Irish poet, talking about the relations between theology and the arts, particularly as we're looking toward the composition of a St. Luke's Passion by James Macmillan, the Scottish composer.
My name is James Macmillan. I'm a composer from Scotland, and I write lots of different kinds of music, but a few years ago I wrote a St. John Passion, and from that a large conversation has evolved.
Last time, the image that kept coming to my mind about who's going to listen to this, who in Luke's Passion is closest to it, was the centurion.
Any recitation of the gospel originally was in the light of the resurrection. But in a secularized culture that doesn't believe in the resurrection, how do you walk into the Passion, which is what you have to do in Holy Week? I mean, the whole point is that it's a process and that you can't anticipate the outcome.
Jeremy has put together this group of people from different backgrounds, different universities, different countries, to discuss with me the writing of my next Passion setting, which is this time a setting of the St. Luke Passion. So over the last few years we've met on a number of occasions and discussed the work in progress, but more importantly the group has been able to advise in an interesting way on theological matters, in a sense providing a kind of backdrop, or at least a thinking pad for me before even a note is written.
I'm curious, as we get into the discussion of your compositional strategy for the Passion, as to how the particular character of Luke as a narrator who's intending to give us a kind of intelligible story that keeps moving forward and maintains a certain momentum, how that will be reflected in your composition.
It's a very unusual way of working. I can't really think of any other composer that has had that way of working. But it hasn't been restrictive at all. It's just simply broadened the research for me and widened the conversation into something very fascinating for me.
He's listened to us, we've listened to him, we've offered scholarly materials, he's challenged us as a composer, as a musician. There are many musicians in the group actually as well. But we were looking very closely at the text together. We were immersing ourselves in the text prayerfully, and as scholars and as theologians. and he was taking us into the text and making us see and hear things that we wouldn't otherwise see and hear.